Last night on Jimmy Kimmel Live, what was supposed to be a lively late-night interview quickly spiraled into one of the most dramatic television moments in recent memory. The guest? Billionaire entrepreneur Elon Musk. The host? Jimmy Kimmel, known for mixing sharp wit with political-style jabs. Together, they set the stage for a fiery confrontation that stunned both the studio audience and millions watching online. It all started with the energy of a standard late-night segment. Musk walked onto the set confident, ready to promote his latest innovations. From Tesla to SpaceX, he has built his brand on being larger than life, a figure who constantly pushes the boundaries of technology. But Jimmy Kimmel had other plans. He wasn't looking to hand Musk an easy spotlight. Instead, he opened with a line that carried the sting of political satire. "Elon, are you the future, or just a future punchline?" The reaction was immediate. Some in the audience laughed, others shifted uncomfortably. Musk, known for his calm exterior, forced a grin before firing back. "I'm the future, Jimmy. You're just the past." It was the kind of comeback that drew cheers from some and boos from others. Exactly the kind of split-screen moment late night thrives on. From there, the sparks only grew hotter. Kimmel doubled down by rolling a clip of a Tesla production snag, workers scrambling to fix issues on the assembly line. He quipped, "That's Elon's future, genius or just a mess?" The dig landed, the crowd buzzing with mixed reactions. Musk, unshaken on the surface, responded firmly, "It's genius, Jimmy. We build, you mock." The words cut through the tension, drawing applause from loyal fans in the audience. The exchange felt less like comedy and more like a political debate. Two figures battling for control of the narrative in front of a divided crowd. On one side, Musk defending his vision of innovation. On the other, Kimmel wielding humor like a weapon, testing whether Musk's empire could withstand scrutiny under the studio lights. By the end of this opening round, it was clear, this was no ordinary interview. The mood had shifted. The playful banter was gone. In its place stood a heated rivalry playing out live, with the stakes climbing by the second. What began as an interview was quickly becoming a confrontation destined to dominate headlines, social media feeds, and dinner table debates across America. As the night unfolded, what began as sharp banter quickly evolved into a fiery standoff. Jimmy Kimmel, never one to hold back, leaned deeper into his political-style humor, while Elon Musk fought to defend his reputation as an innovator. What viewers witnessed was less a late-night interview and more a live debate, fueled by egos and amplified by an audience caught in the middle. The tension escalated when Kimmel played another clip, this time highlighting a SpaceX launch failure, rockets engulfed in smoke, flames shooting across the screen. With a sly smirk, Kimmel asked, "Pioneer or prankster, Elon? Are we looking at history in the making, or just another blooper reel?" The remark landed with weight, igniting both laughter and murmurs of discomfort from the crowd. Musk didn't flinch, though his jaw tightened. His reply was deliberate. "Flops? We pioneer, Jimmy. Every failure is a step toward progress. You sit and giggle, while we build the future." The firmness in his voice drew cheers from some audience members, particularly those who admire his relentless drive. Others, however, booed, siding with Kimmel's sharp-edged skepticism. It was clear the audience itself had become a mirror of the larger national divide. On one side, supporters praising Musk's vision, comparing him to trailblazers who redefined industries. On the other, critics echoing Kimmel's jabs, questioning whether Musk's bold promises truly outweigh the chaos that often follows. The studio, once filled with playful energy, now resembled the floor of a political rally, divided, noisy, and emotionally charged. Kimmel, sensing the momentum, pressed harder. He called Musk a walking blooper, framing him not as a genius but as a reckless showman. Musk, visibly bristling, shot back with bold words, "I've built empires, Jimmy. You've built skits." The comeback was as sharp as any political zinger, drawing gasps, shouts, and a chorus of reactions that made it nearly impossible to hear what came next. Producers, seated nervously behind the cameras, exchanged glances. This wasn't just entertainment anymore. It was live television teetering on the edge of collapse. Social media lit up instantly, hashtags trending, clips spreading before the segment had even ended. The interview was no longer just a late-night conversation. It was a cultural flashpoint, exposing how fragile the line is between comedy and confrontation, between critique and chaos. By this point, it was undeniable. The interview had veered completely off script. What should have been a routine conversation about innovation was now an escalating war of words, setting the stage for an even more volatile clash still to come. By the time the interview reached its midpoint, the atmosphere inside the studio had shifted from tense to combustible. What started as a battle of wits between Jimmy Kimmel and Elon Musk was quickly unraveling into a verbal firestorm, the kind of meltdown that late-night television rarely sees play out in real time. The exchange had grown deeply personal. Musk leaned forward, voice rising, declaring, "You don't get my hustle, Jimmy. I'm changing the game." Kimmel, never one to step back, struck back with a jab that felt more like a political attack line than a comedy quip. "Changing the game? You're breaking it, Elon. You're a blooper reel waiting to happen." The audience gasped, some shouting support, others booing loudly. Phones were raised across the room, capturing every second for the internet to dissect. What might have once been brushed off as late-night banter now carried the intensity of a debate-stage showdown. Kimmel's humor cut sharp, while Musk's defense hardened into frustration. Then came the montage. Kimmel rolled clips of SpaceX explosions and Tesla glitches, his commentary dripping with sarcasm. Is this innovation, or is it chaos? The crowd roared, half in laughter, half in shock. Musk's face stiffened, his tone sharper than ever. "Flops? We pioneer. Jimmy. Every so-called failure brings us closer to success. You mock, but I build. That's the difference between us." The room was divided, much like America's political climate itself. Supporters cheered Musk as a trailblazer refusing to be mocked, while critics latched onto Kimmel's barbs as evidence of unchecked ego. What should have been entertainment was now being consumed as spectacle, a clash of personalities, visions, and pride. Tension peaked when Musk slammed his hand on the desk, his voice trembling but fierce. "I've built empires. You've built skits. Don't compare your jokes to my life's work." The remark hit like a thunderclap, sparking both wild cheers and angry jeers from the audience. Kimmel smirked, leaning back in his chair, his words cutting with the precision of a political debater. "Empires or not, Elon, you're still the punchline tonight." At that moment, the studio wasn't just a stage, it was an arena. The atmosphere mirrored a high-stakes political debate, where every word carried weight, every gesture sparked reaction, and the audience served as both jury and amplifier. By the end of this round, Musk was visibly rattled, Kimmel visibly emboldened, and the producers visibly nervous. The line between entertainment and chaos had blurred, and the confrontation was barreling toward a breaking point. By the final stretch of the interview, the confrontation had crossed the line from heated debate to outright collapse. What was meant to be late-night entertainment now resembled a political showdown spiraling out of control. Elon Musk, visibly shaken yet defiant, leaned into the mic with a trembling but thunderous declaration. "I'm the future, Jimmy. You're nothing but the past." The crowd erupted, half cheering, half jeering. The divide inside the studio mirrored the division outside in the country, supporters seeing Musk as a visionary under attack, critics dismissing his words as arrogance cracking under pressure. Jimmy Kimmel, sensing his advantage, sharpened his attack. With a cold grin, he responded, "The future doesn't slam desks, Elon. The future doesn't throw tantrums live on air. Right now, you're not a titan, you're a meltdown." The audience gasped, some standing, others shouting. Phones were raised higher, streaming the moment instantly across social platforms. What had started as a segment about technology and innovation was now trending as a cultural flashpoint, amplified by every clipped reaction online. Musk's frustration boiled over. He ripped off his microphone, slammed it onto the desk, and barked, "I don't need this. I build empires. You build laughs." His voice cracked under the strain, and the studio fell into chaos. Some audience members cheered his defiance, others booed at what they saw as loss of control. The producers, already tense, finally signaled for intervention. Security stepped closer to the stage. Kimmel didn't back down. His parting words cut with the sharpness of a political soundbite designed for headlines. "Empires don't fall in interviews, Elon. But tonight, yours just did." The crowd roared, some in laughter, others in disbelief, as the clash reached its peak. Moments later, Musk stood, his anger unchecked, pacing toward the exit with security trailing him. His final words, half raw, half plea, rang out, "Let me walk out. I'll walk myself." The spectacle of his stormy departure sealed the night's outcome. What followed was unprecedented. Viewers weren't just watching a talk show anymore, They were witnessing the collapse of an interview live on air. The fallout was immediate. Clips went viral, hashtags trended, and debates ignited over whether Musk had been pushed too far or simply exposed under pressure. Inside the studio, the dust settled. Kimmel sat steady, arms crossed, carrying the confidence of someone who knew he had commanded the stage. For Musk, the damage was clear. His exit had become the defining image of the night. For Kimmel, the ratings would speak for themselves. What remained, though, was bigger than either man. This wasn't just a clash of personalities. It was a cultural spectacle. The breaking point of the interview had turned into a symbol of how fast public moments can spiral in an age where every second is recorded, shared, and judged by millions.